It's May 10th, 2019. My name's Eric Haluzik with All Corners Home Inspections. OC number is 1698. As with all the videos in this report, we request that you view this video as supplemental to the written version of the report to which this video has been attached. An Oregon home inspection does not include a roof warranty, meaning we make no claims as to this roof's ability to keep water out of the ceiling voids and attic space for the living space below. There are a number of challenges with this gable and low slope roof. We'll do our best to detail those challenges here now. Again, view the written version of the report for the most holistic, complete list of challenges. First challenge we'll identify is that at this patio cover at the rear left corner of the property, we have wood gutters. The gutters on the opposite side here are in poor condition or are physically separated from the side of the building near the front of that portion of the structure. You can see that detail here. These gutters are also filled with debris in a couple of locations, and that's going to largely prevent the water from discharging properly from what is also an ineffective discharge location at the very rear portion of the structure. The low sloped portion of this membrane roof is in reasonably good condition. We do have separation between the masthead collar, which is where the electrical main reaches inside the structure. There's minor cracking there, which allow minor amounts of moisture to make their way inside the structure. See minor ponding evidence. And here at the right rear corner, this inside corner, we have separation of the roofing material. You can see that I can actually physically pull this material up, and you can see the felt underneath. A situation such as this would be challenging because if you have a snow load, snow is going to rest here, and as it melts, it's going to work its way back underneath this portion of the membrane structure and then create leaking situations on the inside of the building. The chimney is actually has guy wires, but they're not physically attached to the roof line. This chimney is of sufficient height that in a really high wind event, this thing could possibly topple. We'd recommend reattaching these guy wires. It's not a roof condition, but at the left-hand side, the right-hand side of the structure, at this gable, we have some exterior challenges. The siding at this south-facing side is in poor condition, and the flashing here is actually would physically guide water, snow load in particular, into the interior portion of the structure. We recommend evaluation and reinstallation of the flashing at that location. We'll do a better job at evaluating the attic space once we're at that portion of the inspection. However, we see a situation which may be short-circuiting the attic ventilation. We have covered roof vents here, but then at the right and left-hand side gables, we also have gable vents that again could be short-circuiting the airflow. Let me explain. You will typically have one kind of roof ventilation, at least at the ridge line. You'll have a soffit vent on the underside of the structure, or at the underside of the soffit, and then either a ridge vent or a series of covered roof vents. If you install a gable vent, which is here, a gable vent there, and then a covered roof vent, what will happen is you'll short circuit the gable vent to this covered roof vent, and the subsequent vents will typically not draw nearly as much inhalation or exhalation as would normally be the situation. We'd highly recommend evaluation by a licensed specialist who's qualified to evaluate attic ventilation to determine whether or not the attic ventilation is proper for this single-family home. The collar here at this plumbing vent is also in fairly poor condition. Minor amounts of water can make their way around plumbing vents, but they can cause some fairly substantial challenges over time. The front sort of patio or entranceway cover shows signs of ponding. We'd recommend, again, evaluation by a licensed roofing contractor there. Got a portion of flashing which is presumably covering up a flue. The caulking job around the perimeter of this is in poor condition, and we'd recommend touching up that section of caulking. Finally, we have a plumbing vent which is in not poor condition, but it's too short. Again, in a snow event, this is going to be covered up, and sewer gases which would normally escape through this vent are going to be trapped on the interior portion of the house, preventing it from escaping to the outside. The gutter at the left rear portion of the structure is also in poor condition, and the fascia is also rotten. We'd recommend evaluation to the fascia at the north as well as rear facing sides to determine whether or not it's time to replace those sections of framing. This has been Eric Haluzik with All Corners Home Inspections.